name is Nate Rice. I'm an athletic trainer. I work for Triangle Orthopedic at Voyager High School, taking care of sports injuries.
What do you do on an average day at work?
My average day at work, I usually teach a class here at Voyager that goes from 10 to 11, and then typically I will be here at school until about 1 o'clock, and then either I go to another school or I stay here at Voyager until after school practices and games have been completed. I treat injuries either during school, after school, evaluate injuries, and also keep track of all the documentation and paperwork for all the athletes, sports physicals and injury notes and things like that.
What do you love or dislike about your job?
So things that I really like, I love the fact that I get to be involved in sports. I really like going to do, each day has something different, and usually there's always a different injury that happens every week, something new, and get to learn things about all sorts of different injuries, and also get to spend time outside and traveling to different sites. I don't just have to sit in an office all day, so it's nice to have a variety of things that go on. Things I dislike, sometimes you can just be really busy. There can be a lot of things going on at once. For example, Natalie here wants to talk to me, and she's busy, so it's hard to do interviews all the time. Natalie, if you have a question, would you like to be on camera? No?
You can go ahead.
Okay, so it's going to be a few minutes.
It's okay.
All right. So sometimes things are really busy, so it's hard to do more than one thing at once, but you have to be good at multitasking. So that can be difficult. Also, just trying to keep everybody informed about what's going on, talking to parents, talking to coaches, talking to the athletes, that can be difficult. So just constant communication can also be hard. So.
Do you know any language other than English? How much?
So I know a little bit of French that I've mostly forgotten since high school because I don't use it very much. So it's probably not useful at all beyond asking somebody new directions or what their name is or what my name is, and I'm not very good at. So that's, I would say my language skills beyond English are pretty rudimentary. And Spanish, I don't know. I know a few very simple words in Spanish, but that doesn't help me very much. So that would be the languages. Yeah, would definitely be something that are useful in certain populations.
Do you have a story about a time where knowing Spanish would have been useful?
Sure. So I think depending on the school population, a lot of students come from a Spanish-speaking background, and especially speaking to their parents, especially can be more challenging. Their parents may not have as good English skills as the students do, so that can be really challenging if you have an injured student who may be worried and concerned, and the parent arrives. You have to talk to the parent. The parent's worried and concerned, wants to know what's going on, and a lot of times when you're stressed and scared about something, it's really hard to speak in perhaps your second language. So if their native language is Spanish and they're trying to speak English, trying to get so that I can explain what's going on to them can be really challenging if they can't speak English very well, and nobody's there to translate. So it can be something that that happens not on a regular basis, but I would say fairly often I need some help interpreting. And usually the student athlete who's injured can do that for me and talk to their parents, and then I'll explain stuff to them and they'll translate. That usually works out well, but certainly if the athlete can't speak easily, or you need to talk to the parent separately, it can be challenging.
Do you have access to a translator?
So here at the high schools, I don't. The company I work for at Triangle Orthopedic, they do have a Spanish translator who works in the offices, and he can be kind of scheduled to go to an appointment with somebody if they need a translator. I think they can also use a phone system that you can speak in the phone and then somebody translates and it goes back, but that's a pretty slow system. So having somebody in person translating is definitely ideal. So here at the high school I don't have access to that, but in our offices at Triangle Orthopedic they do. So if I really needed help, I think I would probably have to, at the school, probably need to enlist maybe the help of a teacher who's a Spanish teacher, or perhaps another student who might be able to help me. That's usually what happens at a school setting. I'll have another teammate or a friend who also speaks Spanish and English help translate if nobody else is around to do that.
Can you list some English phrases that would be helpful in your job in Spanish?
Sure. So, really, trying to determine what might be causing an injury. So, where things are painful, where does it hurt? Can you rate your pain from 0 to 10? How did you get hurt? Has this happened before? Just basic things, trying to find out the history of the information. The reason that somebody got hurt would be really helpful.
Okay.